close. Some of you know me, in 2022 I served as Darren's communications director on his gubernatorial campaign. But this time I'm entering into another fight as well. I'm running for state representative in the 118th district. A little bit about me and my background, because I never really talked about that on the campaign trail. I served 6 years in the Illinois Army National Guard. I built my own business from the ground up, and I've worked hard for everything I've ever gotten. I've created jobs, I've met payroll, and I've overcome obstacles without making excuses. I know a lot of you in this room are tired of the high property taxes. You're tired of the high energy rates because of extreme policies being passed in Springfield. I'm running to help push back against those things and restore opportunity for our families right here. I have an opportunity. I grew up here in Southern Illinois. I live in Marion. I pay my property taxes like every one of you. And just like every one of you, I complain about them every single day. The only way things are going to get better is if we put good people in office that are willing to do the right things and hold the line, to not increase property taxes, to not increase taxes, and start providing relief. We have an opportunity in this state right now to do some good. You know, in the book of Luke, it tells us that too much is given, much is expected. I have the opportunity to build a good business, to provide for myself and my family. I'm running to help provide relief for each and every one of you. And I would want to ask that if you see me out and about, if you live in the 118th district, come talk to me, come sign my petition. I have some handouts right there. I'd love to talk to you more, hear about your concerns. But today I get another opportunity. I get to introduce hopefully the next governor of the state of Illinois and the next lieutenant governor of the state of Illinois. And first and foremost, I'm going to introduce the lieutenant governor, who is a fighter, who is a man that I know can help take this state back. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aaron Del Mar.
I'm not a big guy for podiums. If you don't mind, I'm going to get out here with the people. How are you all today? Good morning. Good morning. I am so excited to be down here, Southern Illinois. For those of you that don't know, my name is Aaron Del Mar. I'm from about 5.5 hours, 6 hours north, up right where all the trouble happens up in Cook County. Right? Where all the nonsense begins before it makes its way to Springfield, it starts in Cook County. That's where all the bad legislation starts. And the road here was very unique. And what I mean by that is for a long time, Darren and I have kind of been a little bit sideways with each other. Right? For those of you that don't know, I was thinking about running for governor of Illinois on my own. And for you to be surprised to see me here, I'm just as surprised to see myself here as well. You know, less than 3 weeks ago, I got a phone call from Jose Gerben, and he said, Darren's thinking about running. I'm like, okay. He goes, what do you think about being Darren's running mate? Absolutely not. No way, God's green earth, am I going to run with Darren Bailey? Are you kidding me? And I go, did you even talk to Darren about this? He goes, I did. I go, well, what did he say? He said exactly the same thing. He said, there's no way I'm running with Aaron Bailey. And I said, well, thank you, Jose. I'm touched for you for considering me, but thank you, but no. And I hung up, and I talked to a couple of my campaign people. And I said, I just got a call from Jose Gerben from Darren Bailey's campaign, and they want me to not run for governor, they want me to join Darren Bailey's campaign and be his LG. And I'm like, the guts on these people to call and ask me to do that. I've been working hard for 3 years. We're running up and down the state trying to get my name ID out there and meet people. And he goes, that would be amazing. I go, what do you mean that would be amazing? He goes, Aaron, have you ever heard of any race in Illinois where the strongest guy down south teamed up with the strongest guy up north? Have you ever heard of such a thing? I go, well, no, I haven't. He goes, why do you want to run for governor, Aaron? What did you tell me when you wanted to run? I go, I want to beat J.B. Pritzker. That was it. I want to beat J.B. Pritzker. That's the sole goal of this whole thing. It's not about me. It's not about anybody. It's about beating J.B. Pritzker. He goes, well, Aaron, where do you think you'd have the best opportunity to get your goal? Trying to fight with Darren for 6 months, 7 months in a heated contested primary and you're punching at each other? Or if you joined up together, put your egos and all of that aside and ran for the people? Man, why did you have to say that to me? Because that makes an awful lot of sense. And I thought about it, and I prayed about it, and I talked to my team. I go, what do you guys think? And I talked to Darren, and I go, Darren, do you even think this is a good idea? He goes, well, I don't know, Darren. And we kind of, because we're big guys. We're ego guys, right? And I said, why don't we put it out to the people and see what they think? And we put a little post out there. And the reaction that we received all across the state, right? From Marion to Carbondale to Bloomington to Vermilion to Cook County to Kane County to Will County. Everyone's like, yes, this is what we need to do. We need to stop fracturing our state geography from the north to the south. And we need to do one thing, and we need to fire J.B. Pritzker. And so after a lot of praying, and I mean a lot of praying, and a lot of soul searching, I called him back and I said, let's have a meeting. And we're going to have a 45-minute meeting. And Darren came up to Chicago, and the meeting ended up being 3.5, 4 hours. And we talked everything through. And when Darren and I got to know each other, we knew that we weren't that far apart on all the issues. We were very much there. It was more of a personality, northern versus south type thing, and some of the different people that were in our campaigns that had issues with each other. And when we pushed all of that nonsense and all of that noise out of the way, we knew that we could be a winning team. And so I put my pride aside, and Darren put his pride aside. Not for me, not for him, but for everybody here, for his family, for my family, and for all the families in Illinois. And we combined.
Oh, good.
And I'm telling you right now, the passion and the excitement and the environment is right. People ask me the first time when I tell them I'm running with Darren Bailey, well, what is Darren Bailey going to do different in 2026 than in 2022? And the first thing I tell him is, one, he's had 4 years to learn and pray upon the things that he did right, and more importantly, the things he did wrong. I go, number 2 is that I can give him a unique perspective of what it's like up in the suburban area where there's a ton of votes, and what the city people think and suburban people think, and we can get our message correct. We're never going to change our positions or our faith. That will never happen. As I stand before you and as Darren stands before you, we're not changing who we are and what we believe in. But we can curb the message to get into people's minds and let them understand that there's 80% of things that we can agree on. Everybody up north wants lower taxes and affordability. Everybody up north wants great public security. We want to have safe streets. We want to have safe schools. And number 3, we all want to have every one of our children, my 6 children, Darren's 4 children, his 13 grandchildren, want to have access to a quality education.
Yes.
If that's in the school, if that's in homeschooling, which is just not better, right? Homeschooling. Whatever you want to do, we need to prepare our children for the next step of life, whatever that is. If that is going into the workforce, if that's going into trade school, if that's going into college, if that's going into military service, whatever it is, we need to prepare our children for that next step so they can be successful and then they can come back home here to be with us. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to meet each and every one of you. I'm excited about joining this campaign and the power and the movement that we're creating here today. That means my time's up. And I'm excited to formally introduce to you today the next governor of Illinois, Darren Bailey.
Well, I didn't think it would be so soon that we'd be back on the campaign trail. This idea was actually birthed by many of you, just your encouragement, your prayers, your persistence, and I thank you for that. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be here today. Republicans work, we're busy, and I know it's a sacrifice when you show up on such a short notice, and I thank you for that. Friends, we've got our work cut out for us. But we know we can do this. You know who I am. You're going to get to know who Aaron is. And this journey, as Aaron stated, taxes, opportunity, and affordability.
Yes.
That's what's killing the dream here in Illinois. Right here. I'm going to ask you, if it works out, grab you something to eat before you leave here and come back again. You know, recently we highlighted Riley's Smokehouse just down the road with a $4,300. We can make a difference because all of Illinois is hurting now. There's been a lot of change in the last 4 years, hasn't there? 4 years ago, when I decided to run because you deserved a voice. I had been that voice for a few years earlier as a state representative and a state senator. But today, as we announce and we begin this journey again, it is because you deserve a future. And that future is coming, friends. I promise you that. I apologize that Cindy can't be here. She's in Kansas City, but she is flying in tonight to come to the event in Oak Brook. We've got a bid ahead of us. I'm as transparent and as open as I've ever been. This campaign's going to look a little bit different because we're going to be working harder. We're going to be working smarter. You're going to hear plans coming out of actual solutions. And we're going to be ready on day one to make those solutions go to work for us. We're going to start rolling back property taxes. We can do that. We're going to start cutting all of this red tape that many of our corporations and all of small business has to deal with, because we know business is moving out of Illinois. No longer should families be refinancing, paying more for your property taxes than you're paying for your mortgage. I mean, that's real, and you know that. We can stop it. We can make immediate change. We can clean up our schools. We can offer school choice. There's so much that we can do on day one that simply is being overlooked right now. So friends, I look forward to seeing you more and more on this journey. And I look forward to you getting out there as you've always done. This is our core group right here. You've always been out there. You've always been working. You've always been sacrificing. You've always been asking other people to join. So make sure, as usual, get out there. Let's go to work. We've got 1 year. And I know J.B. Pritzker is going to stumble and mess up completely. So I know you know this, but here recently you heard him talk about how he's going to have to cut the budget, make 4% cuts. Well, I can tell you as a new state representative, sitting in my first of budget meetings, and he thought they were going to have to. We knew that the state should have cut 6% out of the 2020 budget, but that didn't happen. We started in working groups, but he decided to go ahead and spend that money. So when you're out talking to your friends and they want to tell you that, oh gosh, Donald Trump has caused all of this, because that's exactly what Pritzker is saying. He's saying Trump is the fault and the reason of all this. You must know that since November, COGFA and the other groups in Springfield that monitor our budget, you must know that they have increased our revenue every month. The revenue coming into the state of Illinois has increased. So there is no excuse when that budget was passed in May that there shouldn't have been some significant cuts. There shouldn't have been, we should have scaled back. We could have taken care of this. But here's the deal. J.B. Pritzker doesn't care about that, because J.B. Pritzker has absolutely nothing in common with every person in this room. He lives in a completely different world. We're going to expose that. We're going to make him realize that. And in just a little over a year, we're going to win. So God bless you.